No time to explain. Grab a cactus. Yep, we're off to find a stronghold and kill the dragon. Like you do. So, yeah, I'll meet you at the stronghold. This is probably going to be a bit of a boat ride. Huh. I didn't even realize this was over here. Alrighty then. Well, this is a neat looking village. Huh. I didn't even know this was here. I don't know how I missed that. Alrighty then. Let's see. Wow, my computer does not like this village of yours you got here, but guys, just the frames. Look at that. Just yeah. Of course, I mean that's probably not helping. Nor is that. Okay, where's this? Where's that? Still that way. Cool. Creepy enough for you? Oh, this is not the stronghold. Oh, boy. Okay. Not the stronghold. I mean, neat, but not what I'm looking for. Let's just mark this one on the map, shall we? Ancient city. Eek. Except, okay, time to go. Go this way now. Ooh. Okay, bye. Ooh. Oh yeah. Oh, this is all kinds of not good. Yeah. Quiet. Not helping. Oh. Oh, time to go. Time to go. Aha! Okay. Well, after that near disaster, I think we're good. What do we got in here? Ooh, Ender Pearl. Aha! Found it. And there are no eyes. Right on. Okay. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Good spawn. Well, that was anticlimactic. There's no sound. Alright, fair enough. I guess we'll get the dragon egg. Let's grab some of this ore while we're here, since I actually made myself a new pickaxe that can get this stuff. But only the blocks, because it has silk touch on it. But that's okay. We'll figure that out later. Let's see if we get lucky. Wow. Didn't send me very far, did it? Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. We'll go this way. Ooh, what is that? That looks cool, whatever it is. Let's see what that is. Ow! My knees! That sounds like a lot of silverfish. It's endermites. So many endermites. Loot shelter. Ooh. Socialized loot and bounty box. Got them both. Nice. Oh, I'll take that, and I'll take that, and I'll take... Do I want that? No. Ow! Jerk. Music disc. Builds a small hut around the user. Sure. Another music disc. Pick up upgrade. Ow. Stop it. Would you stop it? Aha! Okay. Problem solved. Alright, what's on our map? Anything good? Not looking promising, is it? Yeah, there's nothing out here. We're going to have to come back when we have like a jetpack or the Supremium armor or something to do some serious looting to see if we can find a couple of end cities. But, yeah, walk in the park. No issue with the dragon other than loading in took a while. And I'm gotta say, I'm kind of disappointed with the way the end looks, because it's just kind of meh. I mean, they've got like the spawner dungeons where you got those shulkers. They've got like the underground end mine shafts, but there's really not a whole lot here. I mean, I was expecting like better end or something like that, but not yet. Hopefully soon. That'd be nice. Yeah, well, we're gonna go ahead and just head on back, head home, and sort out our loot, and then work on the next thing that we have for this episode. Since we've got the dragon taken care of, we've done all of the standard vanilla Minecrafty things at this point, other than kill the wither, which we're going to do at some point because I want a beacon. But we got a couple of things we're working on today back at the base, so I'll see you there. Hello all. Future editing Akoto here. I now give you the most terrible audio I've ever recorded. I'm so sorry. And we're back home from the end in our farming area. By the way, if you hear that horrible noise in the background, that's my cooler that I have on, because I have to have it on because it is boiling hot here today. And it has been all day long. However, just looking out the window here, it looks like that we may be getting the storms in later, so you might hear thunder in a bit. So yeah, fun. I apologize. Sorry about that. I can't have it off to try and record, because then I'm just pouring down sweat while I'm trying to record, and that's never a good thing. So we're back home, and we are going to be getting into our mystical agriculture today. So now that we've actually done the end, and mystical agriculture is something I talked about, like maybe getting into, maybe not getting into, I've decided, you know what, I'm going to do it. I haven't actually done mystical agriculture in a really, really, really long time, and there's been enough things that have happened since then, since it's been updated for 1.20, figured I'd go over it here with you. So we have to go downstairs to our mystical agriculture area, which is beyond the storage room, beyond the farming room. Here it is. I'm really pleased with the way that this came out. Now, let's go over the different blocks that we've got here and different block palettes that we've got. So obviously I used a little bit different palette down here than I have. I wanted to make it look mystical. So we've used the warped wood for these warped slabs. By the way, Mojang, the new sound for the warp slabs walking on it, really good. Like, really, really good. I'm really impressed with it. So, kind of standard what we've been doing for the other 2 floors here. We've got a very large room, and we've got the warp slabs, we've got some cyan wool, we've got the warp wart, and we've got some stripped warp stem. And then we've got these illuminate light box from Simply Light that are inverted, which means they're always on. Basically, you make these with like wool, cyan dye, a few other things, and then you can choose to invert them. So you don't have to worry about powering them with redstone or anything like that. You just basically, they'll always be on. So we've got those on the floor, and then we've got these on the ceiling, which are these glow shroom blocks that I found when I did a little bit of exploring after I updated the pack from Biomes of Plenty, that actually do put off a fair amount of light, not as much as a normal like redstone lamp or something like that. I think they put off a light level of like 10, with some jacaranda trapdoors over the top of them, and then mineral slabs for the roof here. So we went with like a blue and dark blue and purple theme down here. These are mahogany logs, mahogany trapdoors, and then this is just amazing. So this is all amethyst. I found a couple of geodes, and I grabbed some amethyst from them. So this is polished amethyst and cut amethyst from twigs. You just basically put amethyst into a stone cutter, and you get these really, really cool looking blocks. The cut amethyst is directional, so you can basically make patterns with it. Obviously, the polished is not. So I've made patterns on the walls with the amethyst, and I think it looks really, really cool. And looks mystical enough for something called mystical agriculture. If you've never played with this mod before, it's a little strange. You do have your own crafting block for it, which is what I'm holding in my hand right now. This particular crafting block, the actual fusion altar, and then the pedestals go around it. But it's a big multi-block construction. So in other words, like, I'm going to slot this down somewhere, and I'll show you what I mean. So let's say I wanted to put it like right here. Notice it's going to give me an outline of all of these infusion altars around it. Now, I don't want the infusion altar to be on top of this light block, so we're going to move it 1 block over. If I can pick it up. There we go. So we want this basically 1 block over from where it was. So like right here, and there we go. So now that we've actually got that set up, it shows us where we need to put all the infusion pillars at, or pedestals, I should say, which we're going to go ahead and do. So there's our multi-block construction, and what you do with this, if you go over here, is you basically, rather than opening it, you just sort of throw stuff on it, and it will basically create seeds based on what you're putting into it. So there's a couple of specialized things that we have to put in here, and we can create different types of seeds. We're going to focus on some simple stuff to start with. So we're going to start with coal and iron, and then we'll work our way up from there. And of course, we'll be growing inferium as well. The way this works is we're going to go ahead and toss prosperity seed base right there. It gives you a little pop animation, and then you have to put in your coal, and then let's just make sure we actually got this set up the right way here. So deep slime, coal slime, blah, blah, blah. So those go on the edges, and these go in the middle. Fantastic. So coal, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and Prudentium Essence, Prudentium Essence, Prudentium Essence, Prudentium Essence. Ta-da! And then, and you have to put a redstone signal through it as well. I totally spaced that. I'll be the first to admit I spaced that. So you do have to put a redstone signal through it. So I just grabbed an unwritten button, and you just press the button, work, redstone signal, and we have a coal seed. Yay, us. So now we just go over here and toss our coal seed in, and it will start growing coal. Pretty straightforward. So now we've made our coal seeds. Now we can go in here and go back into mystical agriculture and see what else we can make. And I definitely want to make iron as one of our things that we can actually make here. So we got stone, squid, turtle seeds, silicon. So silicon is something that's going to be very important later on that we're going to need. We are going to need silicon seeds. But we're going to need silicon to be able to actually do that, so we have to actually get to that point first here. So let's see. Obsidian, glowstone, copper. Copper is a tier 3. That's interesting. Iron is also a tier 3. Okay. So we do need tertium essence and iron to make prosperity, to make our iron seed. So we're going to need at least 1 piece of tier 3 farmland, which is not that terribly difficult, because if we just actually go over back to our crafting, put on our infusion crystal, we can say, hey, go ahead and turn this into prudentium for me, and then this prudentium we're going to go ahead and turn into tertium. So this will give us the ability to make iron seeds. Wait for it. Ta-da! We have an iron seed. So now we can go over here and we can plant this into our tertium farmland, and it will actually grow iron essence for us, so we can basically grow iron down here. Alright, and I think we got a pretty good start on this over here. So basically what I did was I turned all of this into Imperium farmland, which means these things are growing stupid fast right about now. So obviously not as fast as it will be later on. We've got 2 Inferium, we've got our iron, our coal, our quartz-enriched iron, because refined storage is a thing, and you need tons of quartz-enriched iron for that, so I decided to go ahead and put that in as well. We've got some lapis, some redstone, gold, and over here we've got nether quartz, which leaves us these 6 over here that we're going to basically just be to be determined at this point. Nice. Alrighty, so now let's go upstairs here real fast. I wanted to show you something. As you may have noticed, I have updated the pack. I'm now on version 0.0.32. There we go. I knew I could spit that out. Which is the latest version, which includes things like Ender.io, although it is, if you look at the little note that I've got down here, the game is using an alpha build of Ender.io. There will be bugs. Make sure you back up your saves regularly. They are not kidding. There are bugs. It's not 100% stable just yet because they're still updating it for 1.20, just like everything else in the pack. So Ender.io is in, but the other thing that's in is this stuff over here, which is one of my favorite things, which is chipped. So these are all the chipped workstations: the mason table, the carpenter's table, the glass blower, the alchemy bench, the botanist workbench, the loom, and the tinkering table. And what this does, this is strictly a decorative mod. So to give you an idea, let's take the carpenter's table, for example. Let me go grab some wood, and I'll show you what this can do. This is all the different stuff you can do with the dark oak log. You can make a bundled dark oak log, a flowering dark oak log, firewood dark oak log, reinforced, all different kinds of things. And you put the oak planks in, and you get all these different planks that are basically chiseled on here. So you can have cornered, wickered, tiled, all this different stuff, and you make really, really cool looking builds using different textures that chipped allows. And the same goes for like the mason's table for stone, the glass blower for glass. You can make different types of glass things. The alchemy bench, I've never actually played with and see, over here they call it the philosopher's workbench, but it's also called the alchemy bench. Once again, packs in alpha. Let the buyer beware. It's 100% for someone like me, who's a builder and decorator first and foremost, versus a tech guy secondarily. So it's just for like building stuff. One of our shulker boxes, I've actually upgraded a diamond here. I've got it next to it just so we've got some storage over there. Loom, you can make different types of wool. Tinkering table is for like everything. They give you hints as to what you can do here with the different plants, obviously. This, you can make different types of lanterns. You can make different types of like redstone things, like redstone lamps you can change the texture on. It's a really fun little mod. Chipped is. And it's, like I said, it's made for people like me who just enjoy the decorating and building aspects of the game. So if that's something you're into, fantastic. If it's not, hey, no worries. If you're not into it, then I mean that's perfectly fine. If you're more into the tech side of things or the magic side of things and you're less into the building and decorating, then don't worry about building them. But I wanted them all because I'm certain I'm going to be using them at some point. In fact, I'm probably going to be using some of them right now because I want to actually build something in this area here. So if you remember, this was just sort of a stony outcropping, like a bluff that we had over here. And I see the Endermen have been around to, quote-unquote, help us out a little bit by just moving stuff everywhere. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. So this little stony outcropping is just sort of a stony outcropping. There's not a whole lot here. There's not a whole lot going on with it. It's just stone. Which this whole area is kind of like that over back here, too. It's just got a very stony area right next to our little Mystic Grove where we've got our tower and everything else. By the way, vines definitely have improved what I wanted this to look like. So vines on the tower were great. Anywho, so what we're going to do here is I actually want to build a village. Because we've run across a number of villages that are in peril. And they're not in peril because of me, okay? I don't even hear that. They're in peril because, like, they're right next to a volcano, or they're on the top of a mountain, and I can just see the villagers falling to their death, or, throwing themselves into the volcano because they're Minecraft mobs, and they don't have much of a sense of self-preservation. So, I want to actually make a village here, because I also want to have a bunch of different workstations for the villagers to work at, so I can get an easy source of emeralds. And then what I want to do with this village is I want to have the village here, and then a bridge connecting it that goes basically from here, curves around, and meets up over there in front of the little pumpkin patch thingy that I've got right there. So basically, bridge will curve around on the other side of the graveyard, and it will be it'll be connected to our base, but not like straight connected to it. In our build chest, we've got everything we will need to actually be able to go ahead and create a village. We've got a ton of beds. We've got a few things that I've got for decorative purposes. So some coal ore. We've got the stone cutter, all the different workstations. We've got our build palette, which is going to be just like our house build palette. So we're going to have Umbran, Magic, and Jacaranda as our 3 main wood types. And then we've got our railings for like our walls here. We've got our andesite railings and a few other things. Some tables, some chairs, a torch, that kind of stuff. We do need a couple of things, though, that I need to go to one of these villages to get. First of all, we need villagers. Second of all, we need some of the particular workstations and other things from villages over here. So we're going to go basically raid a village, but in a good, a good helpful way. We're going to raid a village to basically keep the villagers safe and bring them over here where they can thrive rather than actually be right next to a volcano or something. So let's go do that real fast, and then we'll get working on this build. And luckily enough, our mob yoinkers that we made to actually move some mobs around also work on villagers. so we can go ahead and fill up. So we've got 2. I want to get a fair number of villagers. Oh, look, a chest I haven't looked at. Oh, it's just got apples and potatoes, whatever. So we can get a fair amount of mobs from this too. So let's go ahead and just run around here. We'll grab the villagers and then head back over to the build site. Oh, stop running. It's for your own good. All right, we've got 10 villagers and 2 sheep. I think we're good. We're going to go head back home, back over to the build site, and go from there. End of terrible audio. You know what? Next time I'm just going to melt while I'm recording. And after a little bit, we have our area for our village. So as you can see, I've been a little busy. We basically just turned all of the stone here into moss and then got rid of some of the moss and put down some grass so that we had that taken care of. We got our little farming area over here with a couple of composters with slabs on top. Yes, I know it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but the problem is if you don't put the slabs on top of this, the farmers just trample all the farmland because they jump on top of the composter and jump down and trample farmland, and that's not good. And we've got a combination of carrots and potatoes, easiest thing for the farmers to actually farm to grow the village, since I think we have enough to have like a couple more villagers once they start getting farming here. We used the andesite square paving, which I'm really a fan of. I really like the way that this looks. And then we use these little pebbles in between to make it look like, some of the paving's like kind of wearing out or something like that. So I think that turned out pretty well. Overall plan, obviously I wanted to get these paths laid out first. They're going to be our roads, in quotes, for the entire area here. So basically I'm thinking we'll have like the farming, like the farmhouse here. We'll have a couple other houses. This is going to be town square right here. We'll have a couple of houses over here. And then various different places of work and such for everybody here. So, I think this is actually going to work out pretty well. It's just the way it looks. It's a small village, honestly, but it's going to be compact, but it's going to be efficient. So we're going to have town square, and then like our living quarters are probably going to be like bigger houses and sort of apartment buildings in this particular area. So I think that will actually work out pretty well. So I'm pretty happy with the way that the layout looks here. But now it's the hard part, which is actually building the village and then also figuring out what we're going to do with this bridge over here and how that's going to look. If we're going to have something more, medieval, more broken down, more modern, I don't know. I think I'm going to make it the same color scheme as the dock, so it's going to be white wood on there, maybe. Yeah, I think we should keep the same color scheme there that we had on the dock for the bridge. So we'll have sort of a white bridge over there, and then all the houses will look a lot like our starter house over there, as far as the Umbran wood with the magic logs as the roof, and then the white as accent colors. I think that's actually going to look pretty good. Which means that we're going to need to actually... Oh, I picked up some Viridium because I was needing more andesite. Which means we're going to need to sleep, first of all, since the sun's going down here. So, Hello, sleeping? Fine, we'll wait. So we'll need to sleep and then grab all our blocks and start laying things out and working on the bridge as well. So, and then we can go ahead and get all the villagers put in. And we'll have a village. So it's montage time. Let me sleep, and then it's off to our montage to get this taken care of. So, yeah, I'll see you in a bit. And I am really, really pleased with what we've got here because we have what I would consider to be sort of an advanced villager aesthetic on the village build that we've got here. So I'm really, really pleased with the way that this actually turned out here. I didn't want to do like anything weird or off the wall or anything like that. I wanted to actually keep it in keeping with like a classic Minecraft village, but just change up the block palette, obviously. Add some more decorations and a few other things here. So obviously we got the green lanterns just like we do for everywhere else over there in the Tears Fall Glades build. And I'm really happy with the way this turned out. So the idea is that this is sort of like a ruined area that the villagers have come across, where they've set up like their main square where they all meet during meeting times in the mornings and the afternoons. But using some of the things that you find here. So we've got these pillars, right? Well, obviously only one pillar is still intact and the other three are not. But if you look, the villagers have actually taken bits and pieces of the pillars and reused them in their builds for their houses and their places of work. So we've got that. We've got some really nice detail touches around here as far as like the ores over by like the grindstone and the stone cutter. I did use a little bit of chipped for the moss, like these little blue and red and some of the other kind of like weird looking mossy bits are all from chipped. Obviously we have the Fletcher table over here. We've got the farming area off to the side here. This I was really proud of. So we needed a source of water, but you know villagers, if you give them water, they're going to drown. So I gave them a little hand crank pump that we've got here. This pump actually, if you look, this is a crank from Supplementaries on top of just a stone wall slab with some rocky dirt underneath it and then some mud with a jar. Really cool looking little thing. Like little touches. Little touches are what is going to actually make your build stand out or not. Is if you add those little touches in, like we've got in this particular village, it just gives it a little bit more life and a little bit more believability. Like this here. This is a lending library. Now, for those of you in the United States, you've probably seen those that like you'll drive past someone's neighborhood and they've got a little box with books out in front of their house. Like it's almost like next to the mailbox. I don't know if there's other places in the world that people do this or not, but a lot of places, and especially in the suburbs, they'll have these like little lending libraries where they'll just have a bunch of old books that they're not reading anymore. They put out in there and just basically have a sign that says, take one, replace it with one, or take one, read it, and bring it back, or something like that. So that's what we've got here because this is Librarian's Hut. That we've got 2 lecterns in there for our librarians. So I thought that was kind of neat. Plus we've got these little chairs and benches around here that I thought were a good touch. This is where the shepherd, there we go. This is going to come with a name. The shepherd actually lives here. So we've got a couple of sheep out front. We've got this over here, which is just workstations for for a blast furnace and smithing table. Put a pot out here. And then over here, we've got like the leather workers hovel, his trailer that he lives in. I didn't do the interiors specifically because I learned my lesson from doing the Urban Renewal series in that if you make it too expansive on the inside, the villagers will find a way to fall down the stairs and die. So I'm specifically not going with any kind of real interiors because there's really no point. So honestly, the interiors are kind of dull. We've got like a couple of workstations. We've got a barrel over here for a fisherman, a bed. We've got a couple of places that just have beds in them. It's all these interiors that we're not going to see all that much on camera, especially. Like, I'll probably be grinding villagers for emeralds off camera a lot. Oh, and these lanterns, when you hang them on the wall, if you run into them, they make a sound and they sway. It's so cool. So I'm really, really pleased with the way this actually turned out. And I even went as far as to put over here a midden pile. This is something that you actually see a lot of in archaeology. If you've ever studied it, or if you are an archaeologist and you happen to be watching, well, I probably got it all wrong, but you do find these things that are called midden piles, which is basically a big trash pile that's away from the settlement, but still close enough that you can go dump all your trash. So over here we got a couple of extra pillars they didn't need, some basalt blocks just sort of representing trash, rocks, and then these shells, these seashells we've got over here, are basically there to represent shell middens. A lot of ancient civilizations, the Sumerians, Babylonians, the Phoenicians, if you find their settlements, you find these things that are called shell middens, where they basically have been eating a bunch of shellfish. They just toss the shells over in a corner near the settlement. And that's how we've learned a lot about what their diet was, is you'll actually go through the trash and find bits of leftover crab shells. You'll find, corn cobs, all sorts of weird stuff that basically gives you an idea of what their diet was. So that's kind of what we're representing here with this particular thing. Obviously, we go down here and then we stop. And I've tested all this just to make sure. There is no place that I've found that you can actually walk and get over. They make such a cool sound when you walk on them. Where you can walk and get over this fence line. So I'm hoping that I've villager-proof this enough so they don't go wandering off where I don't have Megatorch coverage and just die. That's the hope anyway. But I'm really pleased with this. And now the only thing left to do is toss the villagers in here. And this build's pretty much done. Now, you may have noticed I didn't get to the bridge. I kind of ran out of time. I'm probably going to do the bridge off camera because it's just a bridge. We're going to be using some of the smooth stone bricks from Twigs and smooth stone and a few other things to make it. Just make it sort of like a classic medieval, post-medieval, early Renaissance bridge. I think it'll probably look the best. That's fairly well lit. But I'm going to do that off camera. So next episode, I'll bring you back in. You'll be able to see it first. But we've got to get the villagers down here and see what they think of their new home. And we have some villagers in here. The only problem is when I shift-clicked those in, they just vanish. That is okay. I don't understand that at all. Unless, it's putting them in the crafting table. Okay. I had a heart attack there for a second. Why it's putting them in the crafting table, I don't understand. But okay, that's fine. So we do have all of our villagers. Woo! One of the things you will notice, too, is if you go over here and talk to this guy, we have a cycle trades button. So we can cycle through and get whatever trades we want, which is amazing. It's so nice not to have to break workstations and go back and just, no thank you. So let's go ahead and get the rest of the villagers down here. Many of them are unemployed. I did that for reasons, actually. But the ones who aren't unemployed will either find a workstation that they actually connect to in here, or they'll lose their whatever their particular profession is, and they'll get another one just based on what we got laying around here. So basically, they got to find their beds, just to associate themselves with their beds. We've got like 13 beds in here, so they should be able to find them, no problem. They'll probably wander around for a bit because they're still trying to figure out what's going on, especially since I did this at night. Let's go ahead and sleep. Cool, and he took the shepherd role. Nice. So we can trade white wool to him. That's exactly the trade I wanted. And then you want fish. No, I'm not giving you fish. We'll get a better trade off him in a bit. But for right now, basically, I just want all of them to settle in, get used to their surroundings, figure out what they're doing here. And then we can go ahead. Ooh, infinity. Nice. And then we can go ahead and cycle some trades through, do some trading, and actually have a functional village, which is really, really fun. So we've got basically an unlimited source of emeralds over here. We've just got to wait for all of the villagers to actually take their various different roles. Obviously, I need someone that's going to be a Fletcher, but we've got enough food over here that these two farmers can actually work at their workstations, harvest all these crops, share them with everybody, breed, so on and so forth. So we should have a full village here in short order. I think this guy is probably a little bit confused, but that's okay. He'll find his workstation. It's just right here. And then, of course, we've got the 2 workstations over here for other people to take at some point, once we get more villagers in here to actually do that. So we'll probably have them, they're probably going to breed up like 4 or 5 more villagers, I think, if I've got the count right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, and we've got room for 13. So we're going to have them, they'll basically, I'll just leave them to their own devices. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and like creepily watch them, be like, hey, are you making new villagers for me? No, I'm not going to do that. So we'll just leave them to their own devices to actually do everything like they would naturally. So I want to be as little involved with this as I possibly can be. I want this to basically be a completely self-sustaining village. And since they do have beds, they have workstations, they have food, and since we've got mega torches everywhere, they shouldn't be spawning golems every 4 seconds, because there aren't going to be zombies like beating on the gates anywhere around here. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Like, they might summon 1 or 2 golems because, you know, villagers just summon golems when you're not looking for reasons unknown. Even if they're not terrified, they'll just occasionally go, hey, you know what we could really use? A golem. Let's go ahead and spawn one. So we'll probably have a couple golems wandering back and forth. But honestly, most of the golems, since they have the ability to actually go over blocks like this, in a lot of cases, they'll probably figure out a way to actually get out and just wander off, which is perfectly fine as far as I'm concerned. If I have to come back here and cull them, so be it. So are you seriously stuck under there, dude? Come on. That is... Dude, it's not... There. Go. Perfect. Okay. Good for you. You can't get through... Oh, villagers. All right. Well, we'll just let them do their thing. And... Okay. Hold on. Oh, no. Okay. You can't get up there. Okay. Good. And then you... I don't think... No, you can't walk off over there because we've got this in your way. Okay, good. Might have to come back and do a little bit of villager proofing. We may actually lose a lot of these villagers for something that I just haven't noticed, which is quite possible. But the other thing we have, of course, is over here on top of the tower. If you look at the very top there, we do have a lightning rod. So lightning isn't going to hit the villagers and cause them to turn into witches, thankfully. We actually have that problem solved as well. I think I've thought of everything, but I can't guarantee that I have, because they're villagers and they just aren't... They don't have the best sense of self-preservation, let's put it that way. But that's going to be everything for me today. I hope you enjoyed this particular episode. I hope you like this build. I'm really jazzed about the way that this turned out. Really good build, I think, and really fun. And something you can do in vanilla, too. I mean, you don't necessarily have to have a mod pack to be able to do something like this in vanilla. I did this in my Urban Renewal series. Like, I built a giant wall, and I had, like, 50 villagers running around. And they crashed my game every 5 seconds. But if you have like 10 or 15, shouldn't cause that many issues. If you have, you know, hundreds, then yeah, it's going to be a problem. But you can do this in, I mean, obviously in modded it's easier because you have things like the Mob Yoinker, or you can have things like in some mod packs they have the Golden Lasso. Both of them work the exact same way. So you do have that option to do this in both vanilla and modded. So it's fun. It's a fun little project to do, especially like creating a village from scratch. I think is a lot of fun, because then you can use like a lot of different types of aesthetics to do it. So I hope you had a good time. I hope you had fun. Please feel free to click like and subscribe on your way out the door if you're not already subscribed to the channel. But honestly, if you don't want to click the subscribe button, totally understood. I do this for fun. I do this for entertainment. I'm just glad to have you along on the journey. But whatever you do tonight, make sure you go out, play some games, have some fun. I'll see you all again real soon. Have a good night, everybody.